Hello, my CNC brothers and sisters. Hey, it's another Wednesday, first Wednesday in December. We are getting ready for our CNC Christmas presents and all that good stuff. First of all, this is a special night. We have a special guest tonight, Matt Outlaw from 731 Woodworks, who has a fairly large channel, 700,000 subscribers, and he does he's had a lot of projects, and he's also done a lot of power tool and hand tool reviews as it goes for woodworking. So I would like to also welcome those from Matt's crew, the people who subscribe to his channel and whatnot. And so we are going to bring him on in a little bit. I do want to just, first of all, just say hello to a couple people. There's too many names on here to catch you all. But we got Ralph and Greg, David, Jetty. Hey, Jetty from Phil, North Carolina. There's Doug's Hobby Shop. And Don, Robert Shaw, Randy, Danny, Carrie, Ellen. Ellen, you just signed up for Kyle's course last week. I thought you signed up for that a while ago. Anyway, okay. So hello to the rest of you. As you are piling on board, we are going to talk power tools tonight with the expert Matt Outlaw from 731 Woodworks. But before we do, let's just kind of set the stage. Matt's the star of the show. This is your time to ask power tool questions and woodworking tool questions. And so try to keep them oriented that way, please. And also, if you have a question, you put it in the comments on YouTube or Facebook, but it's best to come over to YouTube if you're watching on Facebook. And in your comment, put a question mark, a couple of question marks before your question, and we will get them queued up. So we're going to bring the ladies that run IDC Woodcraft to the foreground here. We got Julianne and Liberty's on board. So you all know Liberty is the one that takes care of the shipping, gives your packages all the love, and Julianne keeps all of us in line and makes sure we know what we're doing. So, but
and this week is my backup.
Yeah, and your backup. And so what are you guys going to be like making us do at 9 o'clock tonight? And in 1 hour for those of you who are not at 8 o'clock? Just tell the story here. What's going on?
You tell them and I'll tell them the code, Julianne.
I was getting attacked by a cat for a second, but so we have this fun new feature with our lovely StreamYard service that we use, where we can actually do a random giveaway if you guys enter a certain hashtag phrase into the chat. So it will automatically draw. And this week, well, actually, previous week, we had 2 winners of Kyle's training. Kyle Ely with his Learn Your CNC training. We had 2 winners for that. And this week, we're kind of going a little lower key, but still super awesomely special. We will be giving away a hog and a hat. We have our hog roughing bit and an IDC Woodcraft branded hat. So,
all right. Okay, so it's going to be a random draw, 9 p.m. or 1 hour from now. So, okay, keep as we start this discussion, and thank you, ladies. As we start this discussion with Matt, bring your questions on. This is the time. All right, Matt, we're going to bring you on board. Matt Outlaw from 731 Woodworks, brother. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I think I brought this up to bring you on some 3 months ago to the team, and so it's taken that long to get you on board with all the. I mean, you know how it is on our end with all the business we got to do, getting things organized and stuff. So anyway, so Matt, you've got you do a lot of power tool reviews and some hand tool reviews, and you'll give some instruction on how these things work. And they're deep dive reviews. I've watched quite a few of your stuff, but we'll get to that. But it's kind of curious. You've got 700K subscribers on your channel, and how did all this start? How did you get into this woodworking power tool thing? What's the backstory, dude?
I was broke. I need some money. So I was on YouTube one day and saw Jay Bates make some outdoor chairs, and I thought, I think I can do that. And I went and borrowed some tools from a circular saw and a couple of drills from my dad and father-in-law. Got out in the backyard and built a set of chairs. And my wife come home. She helped me stage them up real nice. Like, took some really nice pictures, sold those, and just started repeating the process. A few months later, I thought, I think I can put this on YouTube. And so that's how the YouTube channel started.
And how long ago was that?
2017.
2017. So
yeah.
That's a nice climb over about 7 years. So
Yep.
that's good climb. So you were doing a lot of DIY projects, woodworking projects, and then you eventually got into power tools. And the reviews on that. How did that come about?
The channel actually started out as a tool review channel. I did a few tool reviews first, and then I started doing project stuff. But it just ebbed and flowed over time. You know, when I was making stuff regularly for customers, I would just film the process and then make a video out of that. And then when I went full time in May of 2021 on YouTube, I was just deep diving through the data, like what are people actually watching and what are they not actually watching. And they were just, every time I would post a power tool review, they would just watch it for longer and more of it. And so I was like, well, this is my business. So I started just leaning into it, and I actually enjoy the tools anyway. So it worked out.
I imagine with the reviews and the companies to send them to you a lot. To say,
not really. We buy almost all of them. We have a couple of companies that we'll work with, but most of the things we buy, or I'll just see something interesting and I'll buy it and review it, and then we usually give it away.
Okay. All right. Well, so cool. So cool. All right. Well, I mean, if you were to let's start off with the woodworking thing. So this channel is generally CNC woodworking, but that's just one aspect of what we do, right? Especially when we're carving the wood projects, and you got the stuff that we have to do afterwards, and so that requires miscellaneous, skills, techniques, different tools, stuff like that. What would you say, in your experience, someone who's getting into woodworking and they got the core project done, you're not just CNC, but this is, just the DIY projects, and then you're going into the after CNC thing. What is some of the things that we would want to take into account on that end? And
for like selling things, or
I think selling is a big point, but I mean, you're finished work and then you're selling. What selling is actually a good point to bring up. So we'll get to that.
Yeah. One of the most important things on selling stuff is have good pictures. You have to really take time to, and this thing right here is like 10 years ago, this would have cost you, that camera and that thing would have cost you 10 grand. Like the cameras we have available now are amazing. You just need good lighting, take some really good staged photos. We always call them staged. Like you set it up like it's in use or something. If you're making custom cutting boards, you want to put food on it, not eating food, but like you're cutting up a steak, or, a charcuterie board, you put meats and cheeses on it or something. You just want to get a really good lighted photo and take that. What we've seen really work is, if you put it on Facebook Marketplace, is to put a video first. That really catches a lot of people's attention more than the photo does, and then put your other photos later. But yeah, that's one of the most important things is just getting good photos on your product, or because you got to stop the scroll. It's just like YouTube, if people are scrolling through YouTube, if they don't stop on your thumbnail, they're not going to click on the video. Same thing when you're selling products. If you're scrolling through, if they don't stop on that first 2 or 3 seconds of your thing, they're gone. So you just want to catch that attention.
Yeah, such a good point. I've brought this up many times on this channel, that we are visual, and not only that, but we're emotional, and people buy out of emotion. So folks, when you're making stuff and you're getting ready to sell it, you've got to have that emotional feel behind it. And like Matt said, the picture. You should spend a crazy amount of time in the picture and study what the feeling it's going to send to the viewer. All right. And that's
one good thing you do is just go to Etsy and search whatever your product is. That first page they're on the first page for a reason, as long as it doesn't say sponsored or ad. Like those top sellers, they're there for a reason, because their initial picture is catching attention, or their picture and title. So just kind of pay attention to that. Don't, steal it, but take inspiration from it. They're there for a reason. And that's a good way to just kind of get an idea of what people might be looking for.
Yeah. Put it this way. So at IDC Woodcraft, we have a full-time camera guy. That's all he does. He takes pictures of stuff. He edits the videos, but but when he's taking pictures, he's taking a ton of pictures to capture that right picture. So, all right. Well, so I have a question for you. In all these tooling reviews that you've done and looked at, I'm curious as what the 3 most interesting and useful tools you've come across and the 3 weirdest tools you've come across.
Interesting. I love track saws, and I love track saws for whatever reason. They just catch my interest. So I'm a big fan of those, and I've reviewed just almost about every one of those on there. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Win just released, it's a budget spindle sander, but it's just like a little, so instead of the big, like the rigid one that has the belt sander and the spindle too that you can swap out, Win just released one that's like compact. It's on Amazon. I got a video coming out tomorrow. And it's just a little bitty thing. And it's got different size spindles. Like it's a super interesting tool. I was trying to think, what else? It's a hard question. Caught me off guard.
Well, as you're thinking, folks, we're going to put in the comments. Number one, if you're not subscribed to this channel, I suggest you check it out, especially if you're interested in buying tools, especially right now. It's Christmas time, right? Go see what is out there and see if it's a good tool. So go check out his channel. We'll link that and subscribe to his channel, right? It helps us all whenever we get a subscriber onto our channel. And also his website, we will plug that in as well. And both of those will be in the description of this video. I'm going to bring up your website for just a minute, just so folks can see it.
Another interesting tool is Harbor Freight Dust Extractor. I reviewed it a couple months ago, and for a budget level dust extractor, I thought it was fantastic. And then I also reviewed the Rockler one later. We talked about 3 that didn't interest me. I just thought Rockler missed the boat on that one. I think they missed a bad opportunity or a good opportunity with theirs. What was the other 3 I was supposed to know?
Well, the 3 strangest, but what was the difference between those 2? Because dust extraction is important for all woodworking.
Yeah. Well, the Rockler dust extractor, about the same price. Actually, I think the Rockler was a little bit more expensive.
Okay.
But the Hercules one, it has automatic dust clean or filter cleaning. So that helps. It also has volume control, so you can control how much suction you're getting, and that's important when you're sanding. You don't want the sander to suck and stick to the board because it's just too much. It's pulling down too much. It'll cause swirls, all kinds of stuff. And the only drawback to the Hercules was the plug on the actual dust extractor that you plug your sander is only 3.5 amps. And the reason for that is their motor's stronger, and so it's 15 amps, right? So they have to divide that up. So the motor's like 12.5 amps, and then you have 3.5 amps is all you can plug into it. So basically a sander. Where the Rockler one is 7.5, if I remember right. But the motor's a little weaker. It doesn't have as much suction. The Hercules version also has 2 adapters that fit most tools. Fit like all of my track saws, all of my sanders, even the Festool sanders. It fit right out of the box. And the Rockler one's it's a shop vac. Then they put dust extractor on it and the HEPA filter in it because the hose doesn't fit anything. You have to buy their extra adapter kit if you want it to fit something. Gotcha. So there's quite a few differences there, but that's kind of the high points.
Okay. Folks, for those of you who've come on board since we started, we have a special guest, Matt Outlaw from the YouTube channel 731 Woodworks, a guy who has been exploring lots of power tools and reviews them. And so that's what we're talking about tonight, our wood tools and what have you, and maybe a couple side items. And so you're just talking about these 2 dust extractors. Do you do a lot of side-by-side comparison on your channel?
Yeah, fair amount.
Okay. So this is another reason to go subscribe to his channel, especially if you're looking to buy something. And like I said, it's Christmas time. On your website, so you've got, let me just bring this up and switch over to the site. Okay. I think we got it. All right. Yeah. Okay. So can you see your website here?
Yep.
Okay. So you got lots of stuff on your site. You've got woodworking projects. You got some product on there. You actually got some branded product. So that's
that's our board butter.
Okay, for cutting boards, and so these are a bunch of design packages, correct?
Yes, bundles. Okay. So like shop projects, furniture bundles, Basically, we discount instead of buying individual plans, you can get the bundle at a discounted price.
Okay. All right. So you got lots of plans on here. You got some merch going on there. So yeah, folks, definitely drop by there, especially if you're looking for some projects. Hey, this one right there, that'd be a nice little CNC project.
Yeah, it actually would.
Yeah.
I had just got my CNC when I made that. I made a video on that, and I wasn't familiar with CNC yet, and so I really messed it up. It was literally one of the first things I did, and I didn't have the Z set right, and so when it went to cut those circles, it went all the way as far as that thing would go down, and started going around. I cut the aluminum table up like it was.
Oh, good Lord!
Yeah, it was catastrophic.
What machine do you have? What CNC router?
Then I had the Shapeoko 4XXL. Now I have the 5 Pro.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 4x4. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the other one was I got the 4x2 on the 5 Pro just because it just saved the space, and I didn't cut a whole bunch of stuff that needed that extra 2 feet. Okay.
All right. So the other question was, what are some of the 3 strangest tools that you've come across?
Strangest? I don't know. I haven't come across a whole bunch of strange stuff. Not really.
Innovative.
I was trying to look through my stuff.
Yeah. How about?
I'm sure I'll, as soon as we end the stream, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that."
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I was trying to look back through my videos. I don't see anything. One strange thing that come out last year was Cat, like Caterpillar equipment. They come out with power tools. They come out. There's like a drill and a driver, and they supposedly had this new battery technology, graphene batteries that were going to change the world. And I reviewed those on. I think I had them in a video with other tools. Okay. It was a drill and a driver. Still have them in the shop, and I literally used them for a little bit and put them back in the box, and they're still in there. So those are kind of odd, just because it was just like Caterpillar made, like construction equipment, bulldozers and stuff like that, and they're making drill and drivers. I'm assuming they just white label or used a white label something and stuck their brand on it. But that was kind of odd. When
it comes to those tools, power drivers, impact drivers, battery operated ones, and miscellaneous, what brand do you seem to favor?
I really enjoy the Milwaukee M12 line in the shop just because they're smaller. You don't need a ton of battery life or a ton of power. Usually just drilling holes here and there and putting in screws, things like that. So I use those most often. But I've been very impressed recently with the Ryobi stuff, especially the new stuff, the One Plus stuff they've come out with.
Yeah.
Like it's really good stuff. Like it really is. But I also have DeWalt and Rigid. I started out with Rigid just because they had the lifetime service agreement. I actually had to use that a while back on a router that I've used.
Yeah.
And but they fix it. And I mean, so like right now, it would be even like the newer skill stuff or Cobalt stuff, like all that stuff is very similar. Like it's just, I know that you can go look at like Project Farm or if they put it through the stress test stuff. Most people's not using them like that.
Yeah.
The majority of us are just drilling a hole and putting in a screw. They're going to last you. They're going to be fine. Like most people put way too much weight on that stuff. I think a lot of times it's just, whatever color you like, just go with that. You'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Okay, folks, we are going to start taking on some questions. We got 9 questions on the queue right now. So if you want to ask questions about some power tools and stuff like that, then put question marks in the beginning of your question, and we will get those in the queue, and we will start hammering them. So Matt, you ready to start taking on some questions?
Let's do it.
All right. Oh yeah, and 9 o'clock we're doing a giveaway, so make sure you hang around until then. All right, from John Whitney, I'm trying to make perfect square box lids. He built a crosscut sled for his new table saw that he thinks is true. So how do I use the fence to rip all and all be square?
If you've got it true, then it should be square when you make the cut. If you try the 5-cut method, all you got to do is go to YouTube and search 5-cut method table saw. There's a video that'll show you a 5-cut method. Basically what you're doing is you cut all 4 sides, and then on the 5th cut you rip a piece off, right? Just like a strip off. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch wide or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But you just cut a strip of it off, and then you take a caliper and measure one end and measure the other end, and then it's going to tell you if it's accurate or not. Because by the time you get to the 5th side, that 5th cut should be, really close. I mean, we're not building a clock, as I always say. It doesn't got to be exactly perfect, but it needs to be very, very close. You know, if you get it within 1,000th or something, you're probably going to be fine. You can even get a little more detailed than that, but you just use your caliper, measure both ends, and then the 5-cut method will tell you, depending on which side you're out on, it'll tell you which way to move your fence. Get it all squared up.
Interesting. Okay, 5-cut method. Search for that on YouTube. All right, I'll do that too because I've never heard of the 5-cut method. Writing that down right now. So we got Lester. Lester says, Matt, you did a video on jet drum sander for 4210. What about a video on best way to change sandpaper on the jet 42010 drum sander?
Yeah, I may need to do that. I haven't tried that yet. I haven't had to change it yet. I've only done that video just a little bit ago. So
okay, so jet.
I hear that it's difficult though. A lot of people tell me like they say when you get ready to change that paper, it's going to be a pain in the rear.
So these drum sanders are the wide ones that
So this one's just I think it's 20 inches wide. It's 12 inches wide. 12 inches wide. It's but you can do up to 24 inches because it's open on one side, so you can run the board through, flip it around, and run it through again. Mm-hmm. It's a benchtop model. I think it's one of the only benchtop drum sanders on the market. It's the Jet, and so that's why I got it. It's because it's small, and I've always wanted a drum sander, and I could just keep it on a little cart, and keep it out of the way.
Right.
But they can get really big. Like you can get a really, really big one.
Yeah, you can. So for those of you who don't know what a drum sander is, I'm just going to whip one up here and search so you can see it. And just do a quick copy. It's our screen share here. And where are we at? The drum sander right there. So these guys here. So it looks like a unit like this. This one here has got a belt feed and then it stands on the top. The sander's on the top.
That's right.
Okay. And there's another one. So these are designed. What is the intention of a drum sander?
Sand a lot of stuff. So like if you're batching out cutting boards on your CNC or whatever, or you're just batching out a bunch of stuff, and you need to sand it, you just feed them through there, and it'll sand them down to whatever grit you want, whatever grit you've got on there. Also really thin pieces you can run through a drum sander where you can't do a really thin piece through a planer. You can also do that with a drum sander.
Okay, and you can get really fine, really fine grit then.
Right.
That. Is there some kind of limit to the grit level that you can work with on these things?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, you can go as coarse or as fine as you need for woodworking.
Okay. All right, we got a question from Clay. It says, Matt, great to see you here. He bought the DeWalt router you recently reviewed. Loved it. And Clay from Cincinnati. Clay, you're not too far away. So
yeah, I love that new DeWalt router. It's the one with the anti-rotation in it. So if you get a kickback, it'll shut itself off. It's fantastic.
Oh, wow. So is it a bigger double handle unit?
Yeah, it's a plunge sander. It's their new cordless 2.25 horsepower, peak horsepower cordless router. I did a review on it about 4 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got overload protection. So if you're pushing it too hard, there's a light on top that'll flash, letting you know, hey, you need to slow down. And then if it does kick back or twist on you in any way, it'll totally shut it off. And all you got to do is just let off the trigger and start again. It'll kick back on.
Okay.
Pretty cool. Really nice router.
So Julian Liberty, if you guys, as we mentioned these videos that he does, if you find them, put them in the description of the video. All right, and we can link them in the comments as well. So so folks, if you want to check the videos out that we talk about, you can open it up and then pause it, and when we're done here, you can go back to his video and make sure you subscribe to his channel. All right, subscriptions help. You don't have to turn on the notification bell; just subscribe. Because as YouTubers, as creators, it's always fun to watch the subscriber numbers go up. So we got. Dwayne, quick question. Is there a higher quality spindle sander that has the belt option like the rigid, etc.?
I'm not aware of one. I know Jet makes them, but they only have the spindle, I think, if I remember right. Just off the top of my head, I know, the Jet is probably one of the, like if you're looking to like top of the line spindle sander, probably that. That's what I was just quick search. But yeah, and you can get like floor models, but they're all, oscillating spindle centers. As far as the one with the belt attachment, I'm not sure. I think the rigid is one of the better ones out there.
So this is a belt unit right there, and then that's the spindle version there.
Win makes one. Shopfox makes them, but rigid's usually the one everybody goes to if you're looking for the belt and spindle combo.
Okay. Ooh, I might like that one. If Julian Liberty would let me buy it, I might do it. I wanted the the origin, the Shaper origin, but the bosses said no. Right? It's one of those things, you know. I want to buy everything. I got the business. Let's go buy it and get it on the show. And of course, knowing me and creating the content, I just can't cover everything. So
I know I've looked at it several times. I even looked at it at the IWF show we were at in Atlanta, and I watched them demo it. I was like, man, this thing is so cool, but man, it is so expensive. I just couldn't justify, just because I already have a CNC. I'm like, I don't do anything that would justify that. Yeah. And I can't justify it as a video because I don't think it would bring enough views in. I've looked at other people's videos, like they're just not pulling like a lot of views. I'm like, well, I still can't justify it, but it is a cool tool.
I have to actually encourage you to think about doing a video, because when we were at the show, I just caught him. We did a video. He ran me through it, and that was what, 3 months ago. Roughly 3 months ago for the show, 4 months ago. That video's had 50K views since then. Nice.
Yeah, we did a video with him, but it was in with all the other tools that we saw there too. So
right,
it was kind of buried in there.
Okay. All right. You got questions, folks? Put question mark ahead of time in your comment, and we'll get them started for you. Steven says, has Matt converted his woodworking business plan book to an ebook or Amazon print on demand?
No, not yet. We have not.
So you have
wanting to we got a Woodworkers Chronicle. It was on our website. It's so like if you run a woodworking business, it's basically a ledger book for you. You can keep up with your customer orders, quotes, all that stuff. There's conversion charts in there, really quick reference stuff. So we haven't done a digital version yet. It's just physical.
Okay, I'll show it to you folks here. If the image is not coming up on the website for it. Here, I'll put a link in there so you guys can see what he's talking about.
You can go to faithvalleytools.com if the 731 is not working. We sell tools at faithvalleytools.com. That's our website as well.
Okay, 731's working. It was just it wasn't. Yeah, it just didn't. The particular image page didn't come up, or it could be my. Who knows? Could be my Wi-Fi. It's just going slow over here. Anyway, I linked it in the comments so you all can take a look at what he's talking about. So what is that? Explain what that book is.
Yeah, it's like a ledger book for running your business, just to keep track of customer quotes, because there's several pages where you could just write down quotes. Say, hey, I gave Garrett a quote on this coffee table for this amount. And that way, when they contact you again, you're like, and then there's also like orders, and you can keep up with your cut list and all that stuff so you can reference back to it. Because what I ran into was, I would build like a dining table for somebody, and then their friend would come over and be like, I want one just like they got. And I'd be like, I didn't write anything down. And so with this, you can just keep up with everything, and then you can just quickly cut all your parts out, put everything together, and you rock on. So basically, you're creating your own set of plans with this book.
Okay. All right. I linked it in the comments, and ladies, you can put that down in the description of the video. So for those who watch this afterwards. And so Darren, Matt, with your CNC, what would you, sorry, let's start that over. With your CNC, what would be the other tools that you would need? CNC can perform joining, flattening, and precise cutting. So he's giving an example. What other tools would you need, I guess, for doing some of the different things like that?
Dust collection. You got to collect that dust, because that thing, man, when I first got that, I didn't have dust collection when I first got the CNC. I had a shop vac, and I was like, oh my goodness. So then I bought a little bucket separator. I was like, this ain't working. So I had to finally get a dust collector. So yeah, they create a lot of dust if you're cutting a lot of stuff. One thing I found very useful for the CNC is the little oscillating multi-tool, because it leaves those little tabs. You cut those out really quick. I use that all the time. I just got a cheap Ryobi one. I got a rigid one too, but the Ryobi one, I just grab it all the time.
Okay.
So two of the coolest things that I've bought that I use all the time on there is sanders. Rikon makes a little 2-inch polisher sander. It is perfect for like getting it down into trays, things like that. And then Milwaukee come out with 2 sanders. One of them is a orbital detail sander. It has like a home plate shaped head on it, so like a baseball home plate.
Okay.
And then there's another one they come out with this year that's a 3-inch sander. So if you got that, you wouldn't really need the little Rikon, but the Rikon just has a smaller head on it. But the 2 Milwaukee ones are orbital sanders, so they're orbiting and a random orbit, whereas the Rikon just spins, so it's just a polisher. But it'll like the little Rikon's pretty tough. It's a 12 volt, and also the M12 or 12 volt. So those are the little sanders I like keeping around if I'm doing small parts, things like that. They're very handy.
So you said the Ryobi one is the one that you like, right?
For the multi tool, I use the Ryobi multi tool.
This one here.
Yep. That's
okay.
It.
All right. We'll put a link in the description and go grab one of those links. So yeah, this is what I like about this kind of stuff, because I've been wanting to get this darn thing. I am pretty much committed to DeWalt at this point. So the Ryobi I can't get, but now it's like I want to get that multi-tool. I got a bunch of stuff of DeWalt, but I haven't completely tooled up yet. And I tell you, what's the green one? That's the Ryobi one. I've got an old Ryobi saw, circular saws, 6.5 inch and 4.5 inch, right? 6.5, 4.5, one of the two.
Yeah.
And I just got a DeWalt, and that DeWalt is so much better. Compared to and it may be the battery size. So the battery size makes a big difference. Battery voltage, doesn't it, on how well?
You can get a lot. So like now you can get 60 volt and 40 volt tools from most brands.
Okay.
So that makes a big difference too. But all the new batteries and the new tools that come out, like the brushless new tools, are much better than the ones they were 15, 20 years ago. There's a major difference. And even this year, Ryobi, Milwaukee, DeWalt, all of them come out with tabless batteries, and it's just the way they're delivering the power from the battery to the tool. You can literally hear the difference in the sound of the motor on the power tool when you change from even their higher performance batteries to the new battery. You can hear it higher pitch, like it's spinning it faster. I don't know if that's good for the tool, but yeah, it's rocking, man. The new batteries are pretty cool.
I don't know if you were around back in my day. It was Makita. They had this big long black battery that you'd put in their drill, and it was just, it's way back when. It was like when battery tools didn't really exist. It worked though. But all right, so we got a great question from Doug. He says, Matt, how did you come up with the name 731 Woodwork?
731 equals July 31st. That was the day I met my wife, July 31st, 1999. That's the day we got married, July 31st, 2000. So
wow,
it literally, that day changed my life forever. We've been married for 24, going on 25 years. And so when we started the business, we was like, we're sticking with that number. So
the lucky number.
That's right.
Number. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Let's see, Matt from Steven. Do you use Vectric, V-Carb Pro, Carbide Create, Carbide Motion for your CNC? What do you use?
Still on Carbide Create, Carbide Motion. I don't do a whole lot of advanced stuff. Any files that I don't get in there and design the files or whatever. If I need something done, I usually find it on Etsy, or I know somebody. I'm like, hey man, and borrow that file.
Just doctor it up to what you need and go for it.
Then I can tweak it, and I'm good enough to tweak things around, but I just don't. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to design it up and all that stuff. And so if I need something, somebody else has probably already made it somewhere, and then I can just tweak it to however I need it.
Okay. So folks, Carbide Create is the design software that Shapeoko puts out. All right. And Carbide Motion is the CNC router control software that they put out. Is that machine like dedicated to that particular software, or?
No, I think you can use anything else. I think STO Woodworking's in here. He's got a Carbide. I think he uses V-Carb with his.
Okay. All right. Tim has said, Matt, have you tested the Oneida line of dust extraction?
I have not, but I've seen them at different shows, and I will say, so I have a Laguna dust collector right now, And if I had it to do over and I was buying a new dust collector today, it would probably be either the Oneida dust collectors, one of theirs, or a Harvey dust collector, just from what I've seen around and saw reviews of and things like that. I would have to do research on both of those just to make sure. But one of those two, I think Oneida makes some of the better dust collectors out there, especially for small shops like mine.
Okay, but these are not shop vacs. These are real dust collectors. Yeah. Okay.
They're not massive, you're talking 30, 40 gallon collectors, but they're not, industrial size or nothing.
All right. Are they generally 240?
Some are 110. The one I have right now is 110 volt.
Okay. Is stuff like that is so first of all, Tim, he said he'll get to that one soon. Do you have anything on dust collectors on your
I have a few. I got several dust extractor videos. I have the only dust collector video I have is the one that I did on my Laguna, just because it's the one I got.
How do you
those things are so?
How do you differentiate between dust collector and dust extractor?
So a dust extractor is basically a souped up shop vac, right, with a few extra bells and whistles.
Okay.
A dust collector is made so if you're thinking about, well, do I need a dust extractor or do I need a dust collector? A dust collector, what you would want a dust collector for is like big dust producing machines, your jointers, your planers, table saws, not even a miter saw, just something that's creating a lot of dust, big dust producers in a volume. And the dust extractor is for sanders, routers, track saws. I even have a dust extractor on my miter saw. I have one dedicated on the miter saw. And so it just doesn't create a whole ton of dust at one time,
All right.
I guess CNC too for the dust collector.
Okay. Yeah, so I got a dust collector as well for my CNC, but since I've moved, it's a 220 unit. Don't have it here at the shop yet, so I'm gonna have to go to what is that? The Stealth shop vac or something?
Yeah, the Stealth Sonic ones from DeWalt. I hear those things are like whisper quiet. I got to try one.
Yeah. Well, Juliana Liberty, put that on my Christmas list. We've been wanting that anyway. All right, folks. When I'm saying Juliana Liberty, those are the ladies in the background are watching the comments and starring your questions. And Matt, these questions are racking up, so we're pushing through them. First of all,
That's
folks,
right.
for those of you who have jumped on board late over the last few minutes or so, this is Matt Outlaw from 731 Woodworks. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, a CNC router bit and accessory company, and we both create a lot of videos. Matt has me outclassed in subscribers times 10. But hey, that's just shows your persistence, right? All right, so Lou, it said, Matt, what miter saw do you recommend for cutting miters larger than 45 degrees?
One of my favorite miter saws, still have it to this day, is DeWalt DWS 779. I think it's on sale right now for $3.99 about everywhere you go. I think it'll do 60 degrees one way. There's a video on my channel also on how to cut larger miters. If you just search 731 cut more degrees, I think you'll find it. So if your miter saw doesn't go to like 50, but you need to cut a 70-degree angle, there's a little jig you can make with a 2x6. Like, it's very easy, and you can cut as big as miter as you want. But yeah, I'd probably look at that, the DeWalt.
Okay, let me make sure I'm pulling up the right one. Is that one? Is that it? The first one here?
That's it. That's the one that's on sale.
All right.
That was my first big tool purchase back in 2017. Was that miter saw? Still have it.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm going to grab a link, folks. So if you want to pick that one up, they've got this on some 38% off right now.
It's a good price. It's a
yeah.
good price.
Okay. It's going in the comments. All right. Let me stop sharing my screen. So, folks, just put in the comments, are you enjoying having a different kind of conversation? We're usually talking CNC, epoxy, things like that. And it's really nice to have somebody a little bit different on the show than what we normally do. So put in the comments. And remember what? We got about 20 minutes. We're going to do a giveaway. Matt, this is from Charlie. Matt, have you ever compared CNC machines?
No, I've only had two CNC machines. It's the Shapeoko 4 XXL and the 5 Pro. I've seen others at woodworking shows and things like that, but I haven't actually laid hands on any of them.
Yeah, it's a challenge to just do your own CNC machine. I've thought about doing some comparisons, actually between the like the Alt Mill, which is a new one, and then the Winfinity, and then the Shapeoko, and just do side by side on all three. But I don't know. I've got to figure out every single one of those machines. There's so much time involved in that.
I'll tell you though, man, that's the biggest question I get when people ask me about CNCs. Which of those three? Like those three, you two, I'm sure, because of the price level, they're kind of all similar, and so everybody wants to know which one of these three should I buy. You know, like I don't know. This is what I got.
All right. Ladies, make a note of that. We may be buying 2 more CNC routers. I just got a shop, dude. Look at Julianne's shaking her head no.
Got to fill it up.
Yeah, there's so many other things to do. Okay, from Nick, Matt, I want to install an MR, cool air conditioner, in my garage. Is there anything you should consider?
Dust does get in there. I've got one in my garage. I've had it in there for a while. It's the greatest thing I ever bought for my shop. It gets hot down here. And so my wife and I installed it, and I had an electrician come wire it up. The one thing I will tell you is have somebody come out and service that thing twice a year. Jay Bates has a video on his channel. He built this massive, like a filter box around his. I didn't do that. Mine's just dust gets in there or whatever. But that guy comes in the spring and the fall. He takes the coils out. That's the main thing. You got to take the coils all the way out because it's all inside the unit. Take it all the way out, and he has to clean that stuff out in the back. There's a tray back there. And if he doesn't clean all that out, it's going to start running back in on you.
So is this a particular unit? What's the?
That's just a Mr. Cool mini split. You can see them. The Amazon's where I bought mine.
Okay, Mr. Cool.
I bought the biggest one I could buy or find. It was a 24,000 BTU for a 20 by 20 shop, which doesn't, it's way overkill. But in the summer, I didn't want any problems. Now in the winter, they don't heat as good as like a infrared heater or something would. It keeps it tolerable in there. But the main thing is because mine's mounted so high, all the heat goes to the top, and it thinks it's 72 degrees in there when on the floor, I've got 10-foot ceilings. On the floor, it's 50. Like it's a major difference. If you turn a fan on and circulate it, it does better. But
these things. Is this what?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shoot. All right. Well, boy, I want to hit the add to cart button. All right. Boy, I learned all kinds of new stuff today. Thank you, Matt, for coming on board.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate y'all. Mark is saying, what are the basic tools to have in your shop for a beginner? So it's a great question for beginner woodworkers. What would you suggest?
You need a way to cut the wood and put the wood together. You don't have to overcomplicate. I started with a circular saw and a drill or 2 drills. And I had a square and a tape measure. That's it. Like that's all I had. But I built what I could with what I had. And then when you start looking at what else do I need, then once you start building stuff, you're like, okay, well, I really need to make very accurate miters because I'm cutting all this stuff and nothing's coming out right. Miter saw was next. So that's the first thing I bought. And then I bought the table saw. So I have actually a video on my channel, First 5 Power Tools for a Beginner, that kind of walks you through that. But basically, you just need a way to cut the wood and put it together to get started. And that can be a jigsaw. It just depends on what you're making. But usually a circular saw and a drill. A lot of times you can buy a combo kit that has all of that in it, cordless stuff, and just start building what you can with those. And then you'll start upgrading your tools or buying extra stuff as you need it.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's the basics, and then as you need it, you pick it up. I have found for me, it's like I'll start on a project and then I run into the need, and then I have to stop on a project, go out and pick up that new tool. Sometimes I'll have a tool that only lasts for that one time. Things around the shop for 20 years after that. But drum sander versus CNC from Brooks Martin.
I mean, CNC, if you got the budget for one or the other, go with CNC. You can make so much more with it.
Yeah.
If you're just flattening stuff, then CNC is going to do it faster and better anyway. You got to sand, the sander is just a sander.
Yeah, and that's a dedicated tool. So you're right. A CNC does have a lot of flexibility. The sanding the flattening may take a little bit longer, just because you got to pass that small tool around multiple times. But
right.
You're not dedicated. It's not a dedicated machine that just does one thing. Douglas is saying, Matt, what is the best dust extractor shop vacuum setup for the fine dust from the palm sander?
Best, just buy Festool and you'll be happy. If you were going on a budget, look at the Harbor Freight dust extractor. It's good too. Festool's just better. It's just a better made machine in my opinion. But if you're on a budget, then the dust extractor from Harbor Freight's pretty good. Like, it's really good actually. But I like the Festool stuff. I've been running it for a while. I have one on the miter saw and one at the workbench that I use for all the small tools, and have never had a minute's trouble at it.
Yeah. Does let's see. So what were the two brands you just said? I was reading
Festool and Hercules.
Hercules. Okay, so Hercules is being sold by
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight. I mean, okay, all right. Speaking of Harvey Company, when I was at the show, I was actually thinking of stopping by that booth. We never did stop there. I was eyeballing it for sure.
They got some cool stuff.
Yeah. Edward says, Matt, in your opinion, what's the best drum sander for small shop? Okay, a lot of drum sander questions.
Yeah. I only have the little jet drum sander, the little bench top one. But it's been good so far. I haven't had any troubles. You got to set your expectations with that thing. It's a little bench top thing, so it's not a planer. So you're not taking off an 1/8 inch. You're taking off like very little, a 64th. Like, it's a sander. So it's very sensitive too. So if you try to put anything if you're trying to take too much off, it'll trip the little breaker on there. So you have to just use it like a sander, a little bit at a time. If I was looking to upgrade that, I would probably go with a jet too. My wife has a jet. We call it a lathe. They make good stuff. So I would probably just look at jet for a drum sander. And I've read reviews on those bench top when people are unhappy with it because it does trip the thing, but the bigger models don't because they have a better, more powerful motor.
Okay. So does your wife get involved in the woodworking then? Because you said your wife has one too.
We took a pin turning class and she wanted to turn pins, and we bought the lathe, and I think we've turned one pin.
Okay.
I don't care for turning stuff like I
don't. Turning lathe for sale.
Yeah, I didn't care for it. She enjoys doing it. It's just finding the time, to go out there and do it. So her job here is she makes all the board butter. She made 500 cans in 3 days this week, and literally was from the time she woke up to the 7 p.m. She was like making board butter constant. Wow. And then she packages all the orders. She ships all the orders. She does all the bookkeeping. We have a cooler outside. She has to keep stock for the delivery people. She likes to keep them happy, and plus run the household. So she's got a ton on her plate. So she doesn't have time to go out there and turn usually.
Gotcha. Okay. I was actually looking for your board butter on the site, and I guess I'm not on the home page here. Juliana Liberty, just put a link to that board butter product. So tell us about the board butter.
So it's just mineral oil and beeswax melted together, and we let it solidify and put it in our own tins. And so we sell it in 4-ounce tins, which are bigger, and then 2-ounce tin bundles. The bundles we call bandit packs. Instead of the Outlaws board butter, you get bandit packs. So it's like 6 or 12. And typically what people do with those, if they're making cutting boards, charcuterie boards, things like that, when they sell those or they gift those, then they give them a can of the board butter to help keep it conditioned. And so as people wash them and things like that, you just take that on a little rag and buff it onto the wood, and it makes it look like new. That's kind of the idea. It keeps it conditioned, keeps it from cracking and drying out, that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. I want to give a little shout out to Mark. Donated $5 here. Said, Matt, liked your video on first kit with the tourniquet because many people don't talk safety much.
Thank you.
First of all, Mark, thank you for the contribution, folks. The way he donated was just below the video. There's like a little $sign there where you can donate for people taking a little bit of time out to teach you live and answer your questions directly. And we do this every Wednesday here at IDC, not with Matt, but we'll bring him back on. But we bring on regular guests on a routine basis. Although this month is going to get a little funny because Wednesday on the 25th is Christmas. So we won't be having a show then. I think not next week, but the week after, it's going to be Ladies' Night, CNC Ladies' Night. Yeah, and not sure who we got on next week. So we got Wind City Smokers. Matt, what has been your favorite CNC project you have done?
We made a so I had a guy reach out to me, and I don't take custom orders, but he was a Vietnam veteran, and he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey man," he said, "I'm looking for somebody," because I'd made some mallets a few years ago that had some coins embedded in them, like challenge coins. And he said, "I've got a couple of Vietnam challenge coins." He said, "I would love to have a mallet made. Would you do that?" And I was like, "That sounds cool. Yeah, I'll do that." And so I actually worked with Andy Bird. I don't know if you know him or not. He come and helped me pile up on
we've had Andy on here.
Yeah, so he come over. We did the video together. So he helped me basically make a display stand board. It was epoxy and walnut, and then we made him a custom mallet with those coins embedded into each side of it.
Okay.
Using the CNC to do all the custom work, and on the actual serving board or the display stand, it says all gave some gave all, and then it had that mallet on there. So that's probably one of my favorite CNC projects we've done.
Okay. Oh, cool. Now I want to see a picture of it.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, so you can find it. In the meantime, folks, Andy Bird, you probably know him. He's another YouTuber. He teaches a lot of CNC, but he also dives a lot into business. He's got a lot of CNC project business experience, and now he's taken that experience and has turned it to a course to walk you through. He calls it I think it's the CNC side hustle. I haven't seen it directly, but Julianne has been checking it out, and so the reason I'm bringing this up, folks, there's many people who wants to get into business when they get into woodworking or CNC, and learning how to start a business and what you need to look for can be pretty daunting. And so that's where you go find the people that have done it and learn from their experience. And so Andy has put his experience together in a course. Julianne, I'm going to bring you out. We're going to sidestep what we're doing with Matt, because I have not checked out his course, but Julianne has. So folks, for those of you who have joined in late, didn't see who Julianne is, we got the IDC Woodcraft ladies in the background with Julianne, and we'll bring out Liberty. There she is, Liberty. And Julianne does the management at IDC Woodcraft. She's the administrative coordinator, and Liberty is the shipping manager. So our main product is CNC routed bits. We deliver to you, and these are the two people that are managing everything. And this is what you call a player. She is labeling router bit packages right now at home. Anyway, so I just want you to know who's in the background. They are watching your questions or dialoguing with you. They're posting the comments in there. Julianne, tell us about Andy's course. So for those who are looking to get some guidance on CNC business, what's your take from that course?
After going through the entire course, it really breaks it down into digestible pieces of taking your hobby and step by step placing you into doing what you need to do to turn it into a profitable business. So it's actually, the lessons that he has are really, really short. They've got a lot in them. So it's really, I got through it pretty fast. He even goes as far as into how to set up and do your Etsy store listings. So yeah, it's got a lot of detail and really easy to move through. So
all right, that's good that he chunks it down into small pieces, because business is a mindset, and it takes a little bit of time to get that put into your mind. That it's a different way of thinking. All right, thanks, Julianne. Yeah. And speaking of that, Matt, I do want to make we'll just go ahead and do our giveaway, our product giveaway here in just a little bit. And before we do that, so if for those of you who have been following in the comments, you've seen Kimberly there, and you've seen Madra, which is Ellen, and they're talking about Kyle's course, and I'm assuming other people were talking about it. So this is Kyle Ely from Learn Your CNC. And For those of you who are in that that use the Vectric design software, you're just getting into it and you're trying to figure it out, and you're popping around YouTube and you're trying to figure it out. Kyle has the only full-blown start to finish course for Vectric out there. And when it comes to CNC, you can either do what Matt does, goes buys a couple designs off Etsy, or has a buddy, just give it to him, file swap, what have you. But if you want to design your own stuff, then you have to get some skill. So the design part of it, DIY and design software can take a long time. And so I always encourage people, if you spent $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a machine, for $400 in router bits, you built up your shop, the other stuff that you've done, all the investment. This is where it all starts when it comes to the software and learning how to work it. Because if you don't know how to work the software, then you don't know, you're gonna be struggling. So Kyle is still running his Black Friday sale. Julianne, I think he's running it till Friday. So if you are considering it, what is it, 30%? Is that right?
Yep. It's 30% off with, hold on, check my notes. The code capital BF24.
We put it in the banner.
Yes.
BF24. So if you're thinking about it, it's probably a good time to do it. And he's got a really good community. It's a private community. And the benefit of that is when you have a paid private community, you get a much higher quality community as well. So, all right. Well, let's take care of you guys. Get ready for the giveaway. And folks, we're talking to Matt Outlaw from 731 Woodworks. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel. And so Wind City, Matt, what has been your favorite CNC project you've done? We already did that one. So Joe, Roscoe, Matt, I've been following you for a while. Thanks for your content. W/R to Ryobi, regarding Ryobi. And he's looking at the newer palm router. What are your pros and cons?
It's a good router. I like it. It's very similar to the Milwaukee. Obviously, TTI owns both brands, so a lot of the tech and parts kind of look very similar. So it's a good router. Yeah, I don't think you have any problems with it.
And that's the battery-powered guy, right?
Yep, it's the new one that just come out. Home Depot sites got it.
18 volt or what?
Yeah, it's 18 volt.
Okay, I'll put a link for that. You suggest does that come with the charger? Not all.
Yeah, they sell them in combos, or you can buy just the bare tool.
Okay, I'll get the link for the combo here for those who's looking. If you want to get that, so get that there. And Ryobi, there we go, Control V. And so the one I was just looking at is this one here. All right,
that's the old one. Yeah, the new one's going to be on Home Depot.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Guess might as well scratch Amazon. Forget that link, folks. All right. Okay. Of course, anything that Matt talks about in a video, you have links in the description of your videos. So if he's got a tool, you can always do him a favor and click those links. Generally, when he can, you'll make him affiliate links, right? He gets a little bit of a pocket change, enough to buy a burger and a beer or rose for his wife or something like that if you use that. So, okay, ladies, are you ready for a giveaway? Okay, I'm going to bring you all out. So it is a router bit giveaway. I don't know. You take the floor. Matt and I are going to sit here and we'll have a beer.
Hold on. Let me get us set up real quick.
Okay.
Liberty, you can talk up the holography bit for us.
Yeah, so I actually haven't gotten to test it out with the new coating, so I'm eager to experience what you guys are experiencing, but you will get one of the upgraded designed hogs with the ZXR.
Yeah, ZRC, that's zirconium carbon.
ZRC, I was close. ZRC coating. Move the most most material that you can, most efficiently that you can, and get it out of there to get the details done. And then, of course, you know, if you're an IDC fan, you get a little hat. I don't have mine with me right now, but get a little hat. And the code, can I give the code?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's purple. Yeah. It's purple. I chose it this morning. She goes, "What's the code going to be?" I said, "It's purple." She's like, "What are we giving away?" I'm like, "I don't know, but the code's purple." So like, I type purple in the comments, and you'll be entered to get the hog and the hat.
Yep, there's the hog, folks.
And she's so pretty.
Yeah, so the hog, for those who don't know, so in CNC router we have end mills, right, and different kinds of cutters. So the hog is considered a roughing bit, and it's designed to remove material really quickly. For those of you who have to do a lot of pocketing, you know that can take a long time. Sometimes it can take several hours. What this bit does, it can cut that pocketing time out by up to 10 times, depending on the nature of your cut. You can go faster. You have a much higher step over. You can cut deeper at one time. So all the way around, it screams. This bit likes to talk to you because it's got a lot of teeth on it, but that's what it's designed to do. So this is what the ladies have decided that is going to be the giveaway this time. So every week now, every time we're on that, right around top of the hour, we're going to do a product giveaway, and this is the way it's going to do it. So,
and just a note, you do need either, whether you know it as a hashtag or a pound sign, you do need that in front of the word purple.
Yep, and no space in between.
Okay, and you're going to see the live drawing while we're here. So this is fun. Okay.
So far we've got 123 people in.
Oops.
Woo, we got 341 people on right now. So and then we're still climbing.
Matt, how often do you do a live show?
We do them every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central Time.
Okay.
Nice.
And it is on your YouTube channel?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
we've been doing it for 4 years now. Actually, on the 15th of this month, it'll be 4 years.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. And what do you generally talk?
All kinds of stuff, usually like business type stuff. Try to help answer questions on that. Sometimes we do tool talks. Sometimes we just hang out and chat for whatever comes up. You know, we usually go off on tangents, and we may be talking about food one minute and tools the next minute. I don't know. It's just a hangout. You know, we've made some very good friends on there over the years.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And I want to make note for anybody who's watching a replay on this, you don't need to put in pound purple because everything is done. So this is actually live. You have to be on the show, watching live on the YouTube channel, and be able to dialogue into the comments at this time. While we're still putting that in, and I just want to say, take a moment to thank Matt for being here after this whole thing is going, and make sure you subscribe to his channel, and of course subscribe to this channel too. We do this every week. I put out videos about CNC, how to design, how to run your machine, router bits. IDC Woodcraft is a premium CNC router bit supplier for you to help you create your amazing CNC projects. So that's my little advertisement. But subscriptions always help, and give the thumbs up too. All right. The girls are back.
Are you ready?
I'm just laughing because who was it that said it? Up here.
Somebody said something about thumbs up.
Yeah, it was Bob. Bob says, and the chat blows up. LOL.
So Elder Ed Agers says there's 351 people watching right now, but there's only 89 likes. Come on, guys and gals. All you have to do is hit the little thumbs up button just below the video. What does the thumbs up do, Matt?
It just shows YouTube that people are interacting with your video. Live streams is, I think, more important actually than the regular video, just because the more interaction you get on a live stream, like chats, thumbs ups, things like that, YouTube will start showing that across their platform that you're live, it's an active, there's people here. And so it really does help live streams.
Yeah. Yeah. So remember, people on the YouTube, folks, this is how you can help us out. People on the YouTube end, on this side of the whole thing, there's a lot of work that goes behind what we do. And you see Matt set up. He's got this big microphone here and his headset, and I got mine, the cameras, and all the stuff we do in the background is a lot of work. And so any kind of love is appreciated. So how much longer you got to go on your purple thing there, girls?
I don't know. I was thinking till 9:05.
Okay.
905.
So folks, this is a CNC router. Yep, it's a CNC router big giveaway. Oh, look at this.
I'm thinking we may need 2 winners tonight.
I think
You
so
want to do
too.
2 winners?
Yeah.
That's up to you. You guys are running the show on that one. Hemi
Hemi
Dad,
Dad 59.
Woo-hoo.
There's our first one. Let me get this written down, and then I'll start our drawing for the next one.
Okay. So they will tell you how to collect your winnings too after we're done with this.
Okay. Are we ready for our second one?
Hemi Dad, congratulations.
All right. I'm going to let a couple more people get the purple in if they haven't got the purple in.
All right, hashtag purple. This is for the Hog CNC router bit from IDC Woodcraft, the baddest ass bit on the planet. Plus, you get an IDC Woodcraft ball cap.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 9:07. I'll cut it off and draw a second one.
All right, you got a few more seconds, huh? All right.
I know.
Matt, you're in Central Time, so for you it is just a little bit after 8 o'clock now.
That's correct.
You have a family. You're married, so you have children.
Yeah, they're all. Well, I got 2 boys and a girl. The oldest boy and the girl has moved out, and the youngest, he's 22, but he's still here. He just graduated college.
Okay. Awesome. I've got one daughter. Today is her 33rd birthday. I got 3 grandkids. Yeah, 3 grandkids. I'll have a 4th one in February.
Awesome.
All right. Still, we got 22 questions in the queue too.
I'm watching the clock. I'll have this draw as soon as it's 9:07.
907.
Hello,
No.
Ludell. Yay.
All righty. Okay, so you guys that are our winners, you can do one of 2 things. The easy thing would be to go to idcwoodcraft.com and go to our contact us. It's a little section, and then throw in your contact info, and then we will get your stuff sent to you. Or you can just shoot an email to Garrett@idcwoodcraft.com. Your subject line is Wednesday I won. So
Congratulations.
Super cool. This is all driven by the ladies here. So congratulations, Hemi Dad and
Yes,
Lou.
yes.
Ludell. Yeah. So much fun. All right, super cool. All right, and the show goes on. All right, thanks, ladies. So we just did this first time for last week, and now we're going to do this every week.
That's pretty cool.
Little giveaways. It's a lot of fun. Adds a little excitement. All right, from Clay, he says, best explanation of 5-cut method on YouTube is by William, NG, and Matt. I bought the new DeWalt router with your link. It's awesome.
It is awesome. Thank you.
Yep. So folks, remember if you're buying tools, check the descriptions of the videos and use those links. It helps us out. Okay, so Martin is saying, hey Matt, what do you think about Harvey tools?
I think I just started working with them. Literally, bandsaw got off the truck a couple of days ago. It's in the shop. I haven't even unboxed it yet. So full disclosure there. But before that, I've said many times on my live stream, I think they're the most innovative power tool company on the planet right now. The stuff they're doing with their power tools and stuff, with their table saws, the fences, the electronics they're putting in their new bandsaw. I don't got the new one, but they got a new one coming out in 2025. Like they're just really pushing the envelope on what you would think about a power tool like that. So I think they're doing a really good job.
Yeah, we had Izzy Swan on here, and he talked about Harvey quite a bit too. Yeah. So, folks, remember we're getting guests. We have these guys like Matt, Izzy Swan coming on all the time. We're always bringing people on. So, a lot of times it's a face you've seen. Mark Lindsay's been on here many times. He's in the crowd there. All right, Gary, he says, Matt, what would you say is the best option for a track saw setup?
Best, like I'm very partial to Festool, so I'm going to tell you go to the Festool or the Milwaukee M18 track saw. I like both of those. I've used almost all of them. The only thing I haven't used is Mafel, and just because I don't want to spend almost $2,000 on a track saw and track setup. But everybody says Mafel's the best. I haven't used it yet, but from what I've used, Festool or Milwaukee, probably the top two.
Okay. And Mike says, Matt, on your advice, I just bought a Shapeoko 5 Pro. Love it. Question, what's your favorite shaping bit for decorative edges?
I don't know what a shaping bit is. My CNC knowledge is about this much. I use regular end mills at 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch end mill, and some bullnose bits and some V bits. That's it. That's it. That's all the bits I have. Right.
Okay.
Doing basic stuff.
Yeah, you might want to. Mark Lindsay's in the crowd, and Greg from STL. I mean, anybody. So as we're asking these questions, for those of you who've been here hanging out for a while, you see that other folks are helping to answer those questions, and I learn from them. I'm watching the chat too, so you guys bring that stuff up, and in the background, I'm going, "Oh, I didn't know that." That's why I like this stuff. We're always helping each other. Brian says, any recommendation on hand block planes besides Lee Nelson SP?
I'd love to help you, but I'm a power tool guy. I've got a small plane in the shop that come from Tay Tools, and it's just on the shelf. I just don't use hand tools.
Speaking of that stuff on the shelf, so you've got a ton of tools. What do you do with all of them?
We give almost all of them away at some point in time.
Okay.
Sometimes a neighbor shows up and we're like, hey man, take this planer. I ain't got no room for it. And then sometimes we do giveaways on the channel. Sometimes we load it all up and go to some location and host an event and give stuff away.
Okay. Mark Lindsay made a comment here, which is a really good one about the shaping bits. And he said, to be honest, you'll get the best edge profile results of the standard router bit on a router table.
Well, edge profile. Okay, if you're talking profile bits, white side, I love white side bits. I use them quite often. Round over, chamfers, that kind of stuff. There's a kit on Amazon. It's the number 404 kit. It's like $100. It's one of the best kits out there.
And you use that on the manual sanders, right?
Yeah, the regular hand router or even in the router table.
Yeah. Okay. From Joe, Matt, what are the pros and cons on the new Ryobi palm router? You talked a little bit about that already. I think we kind of got that covered. Will they ever go larger or plunge? I'm trying to. Oh, not the router. You were talking about sander before, right? I'm just trying to stay in the same battery platform.
I would guess. I have no insider information on this, but I would guess. I would probably. I'm not a betting man, but I would probably put money on Ryobi having a plunge router, very similar to what you saw Milwaukee come out with sometime in 2025, just because they typically kind of follow each other along.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if they didn't have one come out in 25, but that's just a random guess.
So that'd be a battery-powered plunge router. So most of these power tools are going to battery now. The batteries are able to push out a lot of power. Are there any power tools that you think are not suitable for what they're trying to do with batteries?
I mean, if you're like, I still think like the Bosch 1617 router, DeWalt 618 router, so you can get the plunge and fixed base. Those are the two best quarter routers on the market as far as the kind of a medium-sized router. I have one in my router table, and I have the DeWalt's outside the router table. But as far as like sustained power, if you're needing to like really use a lot of power in a router, then you're gonna want it on corded, just because it's gonna blast through a battery. Like if you're doing a lot of heavy work, if you're doing flattening or anything like that, I just would prefer having the cord on there, and you don't have to deal with the battery. And it, as it gets close to the end of the battery, you're losing a little bit of power. and I would just prefer to have that corded on those.
Okay. Yeah, folks, when I forgot when I was talking about Kyle Ely's course, we did say that is that's on a Black Friday for the Vectric software. I do recommend that. And I just wanted to make sure we put that link in the comments. I'm sure we already did. I just want to remember there's still some Black Friday deals still hanging out there. You know of any good Black Friday deals that are still going on right now?
There's several. I actually do tool deals on my website. I've done 3 videos over Black Friday as well, and Cyber Monday. But on my website, I post tool deals every day. Like every single day, you'll find tool deals on there. Just 731woodworks.com, and then there's a tool deals button right on the front. Just click that, and there's tons of it. I posted some. I didn't find none today.
Yeah, it's a little tab right at the top.
Yep, I posted.
I'll show you where to go, folks. I'm going to go to his page, so you can see exactly where to check. And so you're updating this constantly.
Every day. Every morning I sit here for about 2 hours looking for tool deals and post them on there.
Really?
I have a text group that on that one of those pages, you can sign up for a text group. And if it's a really good deal, I'll text everybody and let them know, hey, there's a really good deal today.
Right there, right at the top of this page. Okay. And so what you got on here today, there you go. So you got, there's a track saw right there. So these are all deals that are going on right now. Okay, folks, there you go. Hey, ladies, mark this website. All right, cool. All right, so if you're still looking for some deals, especially for the holiday, you want your honey to buy you something, and you got a direct source right there. From Flying Nagel. Hey, Matt, I was wondering how good is the Hercules dust collection vac? I've seen your video on it and looking into it.
It's good. It's really good. I was very impressed with it.
All right. Make sure you find that video and use the link in the video if you decide to get that. So, Robert, question. Hey, Matt, I love your content. Longtime fan. What is your biggest revenue stream nowadays?
It just depends on the month, really. You would get, sometimes it's YouTube ad revenue, sometimes it's affiliates, sometimes it's sponsorships. It just depends. We try to diversify. And when you're working, as this is your business, content creation, your business, you have to diversify. Have money coming from every little bucket you can so that it all piles into one bucket and you can eat and have a place to live.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed you get a few sponsors on your channel. So
yeah, just a couple. We don't do a whole bunch.
Yeah. Do sponsors generally approach you? Is that right? Yeah. Or have you ever approached someone else and said, hey, I'll sponsor you?
I used to try to approach them all the time. Right after I went full time, when I left state police and went full time in 2021, I was emailing everybody. It's like, man, I need a sponsor. I was like, because I didn't know if it was going to work going full time or not. And almost everybody told me no, or didn't, or just ignored me. And I kept a good list of everybody that told me no. And now when they approach, I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Hey, wait, you got some numbers going on. Yeah, let's talk. Okay. So from Richard, do both of you favor VCarve Pro? So I use VCarve and he uses Carbide.
That's correct.
All right. So it's there you go. Most of the folks on this channel and on this stream that are normally here are Vectric VCarve users. And so just because that's what I teach, that's what I know. And that's what I like. All right, Tom says he plans to enlarge his resaw capacity and am considering 14 bond saws from Jet or Laguna. Any recommendations?
I don't know about Jet. My friend has a good friend has a Laguna bandsaw, the 14-inch, and he couldn't resaw for nothing. He wound up having to get the Carter stabilizing rollers before he could do it, and he's still having a little bit of trouble with it. So I would do some real good research on that before you jump into it, because you may want, if you're going to get either one of those or the Laguna, you may also have to pick up the Carter guides to make it do right.
Yeah. So what is resaw?
So resaw is like if you got a thick board and you want to cut it into two, right down the middle, long ways. And so you're just going to send it through the bandsaw like this, and you come out with two pieces.
Okay. All right. Hey, got to do a couple more shout outs here. So we got David shared a couple boxes. Says 2 favorite sites. Thank you, David. And we've got Robert. Robert, longtime fan of 731 and Matt. Here's a little love. Take care of the lucky woman.
Thank you.
So Robert, thank you a ton. And just running down the thread to see if there's any more. And that's it for the donation shout outs. Thank you, folks, for making these contributions. And so here's from Tim, Matt, and Garrett. Oneida makes shop back size accessories and dedicated systems. So giving some info there, because it's actually a brand I'm not familiar with, Oneida.
Really?
Yeah. What do they generally specialize in?
Dust collection. Oneida-air.com is their website. They have dust collectors, and they even have like the little dust deputy thing that goes on top of a bucket type thing.
Okay.
Little dust separators, like if you're just using your shop vac and stuff like that.
I got you.
And they go all the way up to the big dust collector.
Yeah, boy, a lot of dust. Here comes another dust collection. So recommendation for dust extractor. So you've already kind of covered thoughts on the dust extractor. And do you want to add any more to that before we move on?
If you're on a budget, get the Harbor Freight. If you're got a little extra budget, go with the Festool.
Good. All right, Brian says, Matt, what is your favorite orbital sander?
Festool. I like the Festool that is ETS EC150. Probably my favorite sander. If I'm just one and done, that's the one I'm getting.
Okay. I love these questions because it's so different for what I normally do, what I normally get. Ed says, what do you think the ultimate hobby shop square footage is?
Big as you can get, man. Ultimate, you're gonna fill it up. You're gonna fill it up.
You know, I just moved into my shop. Literally, just bought my house and my shop, and it's already too small.
Yeah, my little garage is 20 by 20, and a 10-foot by 10-foot square of that is a home gym set up in the corner.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah, and so mine's taking it. But if I was like, if it was like ultimate hobby, 20 by 30 probably would be plenty big enough for most stuff.
Yeah, I'd say so. The biggest thing that's going to take up your space is your table saw.
All right, or my workbench takes up the most. It's a 4 foot by 8 foot though, but it's a big assembly table is what it is.
Yeah. So the ideal is to combo your workbench table saw.
Yeah, that's what I got mine done.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting question though. Yeah. George, is Matt any finish that I can wipe on the wood? No spray, no strong odor.
Odie's oil would be my first thought because it does have an orange smell to it, but it dissipates really fast. It's food safe. It's a really good finish. Otherwise, I've used Rubio. It works really well. No spray. You wipe it on, wipe it off. It works really well, especially just for a natural. I like the pure color, or it's called pure, but it's just clear. Especially if you're doing like walnuts and things like that, it looks really good on those. That'd be my two I would probably go with.
Okay. So folks, we are getting close to wrapping up. We're coming up 9:30. We'll go on 9:30, 9:40. We got 4 more questions in the queue, but there are more questions down below. If we have handled it, we probably can handle it, and we'll just put them in the queue. I just want to say before we start coming to the end, take a minute to go to Matt's YouTube channel, subscribe if you haven't. He's got a ton of review videos. As I started really diving in, it's like this guy's covering everything on this stuff. One of the things that I was watching today that just had me riveted was you were doing the planer, the new planer. They redesigned it based on your previous review.
Yeah,
and the planer I used to have was the straight blade all the way across. There was a DeWalt a long time ago, and then now that one that you have, it's got all the inserts.
Yeah, it's got the new helical head in it. It's pretty cool. Like, it's a really nice little planer.
Yeah, boy, replacing those inserts can cost a little bit, but you got 4 sides before they go bad.
That's right. It'll take you a while.
Yeah. Matt, do you have any favorite measuring and leveling type tools?
I like woodpecker stuff. If you just like to spend money, they're really good, but they're very expensive. Otherwise, like there's still good stuff out there. I found some wind stuff on Amazon, like layout tools, squares, things like that. They were fantastic, and they were super cheap. Eye gauging makes good stuff as well. If you're just looking for kind of a middle of the road, not too expensive, but also not cheap stuff, that's probably one I would probably point most people to. But
Okay.
if you just got money to burn, then woodpeckers is probably the way to go. Or Jessim. Jessim's been killing it, man. This last year, they come out with squares and setup gauges, and then now they just come out with these sword-looking T things. I just got a whole set in the mail the other day. Like,
Okay.
Cool. Jessim is crushing it this year. And
Jessim. What? So they're
a Canadian company. Jessim, JESSEM.com.
Okay. And they come out. They're making a lot of measuring tools then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Measuring and layout stuff. They just this last year really started putting that stuff out.
Okay. Wow. I'm learning all kinds of new brands now too. I think I forgot to say, take a minute to subscribe to Matt's channel. Subscribe to this channel. Right. Helps us. And personally, I don't care if you hit the notification bell or not. Yeah, it's just nice to see his subscription numbers come up for this effort. Gary says, statement when choosing tools: 1, go cordless. 2, pick a platform that offers more options like Ryobi, for example, Ryobi, DeWalt, Milwaukee. And trust me, you will thank me later. What's your thoughts on this Gary's share here?
I agree. I mean, you look at what tools you're going to think you're going to want or what types of tools they have offered. So like I talked about the cat tools or whatever earlier, you buy a set of those and you literally have option of a drill driver and circuit saw, and that's it. Well, Milwaukee and Ryobi have hundreds of tools to choose from.
Yeah.
DeWalt does too. And so,
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. And you're committed because of the battery, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think now especially with tool deals and stuff, like I was pigeonholed into rigid for a while. And then once I started, it's like, well, I like this Milwaukee M12 stuff. Let me try a couple of those. And so then I got those. Like, well, it kind of broadens your horizon because then you just wait for the deal. You don't have to have something right then. So you can pick up like the little detail sanders, which, rigid doesn't have, but Milwaukee does. And so there's just different tools on different platforms that they're not going to have on every one of them. So,
okay. All right. Azrav, he says, I have a question for Matt. Do I have to tram the Shapeoko? Do you have a video on how to do it with that CNC?
Some people have. I didn't have to on mine. Mine was true out of the box. But I actually got a friend who just got one the other day that had to. I don't have a video on it though.
Yeah. Yeah. But most of the time you're going to have to tram out of the box. You got lucky. Even just a little bit. But tramming is fairly simple. When it comes to tram, the side to side tram, that's called yaw, by the way, YAW, not Mark's yaw. So YAW, that's the side to side tramming, and the back and forth tramming, it's called nod, NOD. It's like nod in your head. So the yaw is fairly easy. It's loosening the bolts. Once you get it set up, then you're good. The nod, generally standard, you have to use shims. You have to loosen the head, the mounting brackets, and put a shims either towards the bottom or at the top. That's why I like the alt mill. I just got the alt mill, and they have developed. They created a tramming thing so that you don't have to fiddle with that. They have a cam adjustment. Okay, so Dennis said, any value in getting a joiner to assemble larger boards for sign making, or is there a better way?
I mean, the joiner is the easiest, probably. You can do it with the router. You can joint boards with the router. You can joint boards with a track saw. It just depends on how much effort you want to put into it, but the joiner is probably the easiest, fastest.
Okay. And Mr. Laserdove, is there a CNC with a tool changer? There are a lot of CNCs with tool changers. So generally, in the units that I teach, they don't generally come with the tool changers. Like the alt mill Shapeoko level, they kind of stop at that level, but they're starting to nudge into the tool changing area. Machines like Avid, which is kind of the next to the pro level machine, Phantom, they'll have tool changers on there, but you're notching up by 10 grand. There are companies that do sell tool changer outfits, but I do know that these, like the Shapeoko and the alt mill and the Onefinity, that they are starting to partner up with companies that are doing that. So you can buy sets. Your machine, you can get the kit with it. Just like PWN, the spindle upgrade for your thing. By the way, there was an email I got. So if you're looking to upgrade your CNC to a spindle and you still haven't, Julianne or Liberty, PWN is still doing a sale on their stuff. They're still doing a Black Friday. It's like an after Black Friday, not as steep of a sale, but it's there. So jump on it. I think it's only good till Friday. So that link will be in the comments and in the description of the video. Anthony is saying, would a Shapeoko user benefit from Kyle's course? If you are a Vectric design software owner, yes. So it's only Vectric. So the machine is going to do what you tell the design software to do in the tool paths it generates. But yes, a Shapeoko user, a Onefinity user, alt mill user, Komatsu user, if you are using the Vectric software, take Kyle's course. Throw that link in there again. Jump on it because he's got that 30% discount that's only going till Friday. Arthur says, Matt, have you ever seen an effective dust collector shroud for miter saw?
I've never built one, but I've seen a lot of people do it in their shop. And I don't know how effective it was.
Okay. Is this a common question that comes up for you?
Yeah, a lot of dust collection. Yeah.
Really? And why is that such a hot topic?
Because it's a problem. Like for a long time, I didn't have dust collector. I had a shop vac and anything else. I just opened the garage door, took the leaf blower and blew it out when I was done. Or typically I would be working with the garage door open if I could stand the whatever temperature it was. Right. But yeah, dust collection, when you start running table saws and routers and all that stuff, planers, like you're creating a ton of sand or dust. You got to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks of me doing content is the dust shoes on the machine. I don't use the dust shoes. It's unless I'm cutting MDF. Sorry, folks, you're just not going to watch this one because I don't want that MDF all over in my lungs and all that good stuff. So this is Madra Ellen, a regular on the channel. It says, Matt, you have a jumpstart program. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we have a business course for woodworkers. If you're starting out and just trying to figure out how to get to sales, how to list your products, all that stuff. We have a lot of free content on school platform. It's skool.com/731 Woodworks. And then if you want more help, like that's free stuff. You just go through the course work there. Video courses teach you how to list your products, how to sell in person, sell online. If you need more help, we have another program that's paid called Sawdust Startups, but you'll see that inside of the 731 Woodworks School. Okay,
so how do you like school?
I like it. It's a really good hosting platform. We've my partner and I have started in March, and we've got 500 members in the Sawdust Startups. I think there's 8,200 in the free version and 510 in the paid. It's working well. It's easy for a community to interact with each other, which is the main thing that I love about it. But also you can put all your course videos in there and any things you need to attach to it, like PDFs or anything like that, you can attach right there. It's just a good central location for everything. And you can, DM inside of there. So if anybody has a question, they can always just message me inside, and I always check those first before like Instagram, or I get, a lot of messages on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. So I'll put priority on my school people. So I can DM.
Julianne, make a note of that. We'll talk to him after we're done about the school, because we're going to start our own, and so we looked at Mighty Network School and several of the other ones. Okay, so that course that she was asking about, it's a business kit, helps business tips, what have you.
Yeah, if you just go to school.com, it's skool.com/731woodworks. You'll land on the about page, and it'll kind of give you the outline of what you get there for free. It's free to join.
Okay.
And then you can go through the classroom section and all that. And again, if you need extra help or you want to deep dive into really growing a business, then we have a paid version that we really do get hands on with people.
So any creator, whether you're doing hand woodwork or CNC woodwork or combo, get into business and you've never done business before, you really need to get the skills of these people that have put out these courses, because there are certain things that without the awareness that they are going to give you, which I'm certain Matt has done in his as well, you will fumble along the way and not know why.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's like, it's all the mistakes we fumbled through trying to figure things out and what worked, what didn't work. Like we was able to take all that information, and then we've got some other coaches, actually STL, he's one of our coaches in there for people who are doing like CNC work or doing other type stuff, markets, mass, production type stuff. He's helping with them. And my other partner is Nick. He does like video editing and he's very good with like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. So he's a coach in there. And so we have different people coming in to fulfill those different roles. I got a tax guy coming on next, making me a course right now on starting a business and the tax side of it. Because I'm not a tax professional. I'm not giving no tax advice, but he's going to come on and do a video module for us to help people with that. So it's just a better way because this is the questions you have. Like, what do I do about taxes? Or how do I sell a product? How do I sell something online? Like some very unique ideas come from inside there. Like people are doing some really cool stuff that I would have never thought of. And they're able to launch their business and they share that with others and people take it and use it. It's pretty cool.
Yep, that's kind of cool. So you got Greg from STL Woodworking. Greg, I tell you, man, you're getting your fingers everywhere, dude. We talked to him too. All right, we're going to handle one more question, then we're going to knock off. Came from Kimberly. Kimberly, she's regular here. She says, Matt, have you played with the Magna Fit systems to move your dust collection between tools?
I have not. I've been looking at the lightning lock from Carbon Method. Basically, it's just magnetic connections for your dust hoses to move from one tool to the other, but I haven't bought any yet.
Okay. All right. And there were no other contributions. We see a few more questions that are out there, folks, but we are going to have to start wrapping up. Been here for a while. Next week, at this point, we do not have a special guest, though if we do arrange it, so it'll just be me and perhaps Kate, if we can get her. If not, just be me, and maybe we'll grab Mark or Ellen or Greg from STL and just bring them on board and chew the fat. And then the week after that, it's going to be ladies' night. So I'm going to bring the ladies back out that have been in the background.
That was really quick. There was no warning.
I just pop them out without telling them.
Perfect timing though, because I just finished all these ones.
Woo!
All right. And so the two winners, make sure you email through the contact page at idcwoodcraft.com or Garrett at idcwoodcraft.com directly through your email. Also, take a minute to subscribe to this channel or give me at least a thumbs up. And make sure you go to Matt's channel, subscribe there. Do your shopping through that channel. It's done a lot of work to help educate you on the power tools and such, some of the hand tools too. And and I guess that's about it. So, Matt, thank you for taking some time with us.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Sharon, and thank you for sharing your audience and getting a whole new load of questions. This is totally cool to get this whole new world of questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Yep. And we will, folks, we'll see you later. And we'll be here the same time next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again, Matt.
Thank you.